Abi ben neredeyim?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oğlum. Oğlum sahte ya bunlar. Hmm. 280 oldu.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Ay hiçbir kapı açılmıyor. Allah Allah.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Kapıyı kilitlediler. Teşekkür ederim. 2 tane kapı seçmem lazım. Burada düğüm var, burada gerçek.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
A4, hadi A4 kağıdı yapalım.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ya sadece aşağı bakmak istedim, intihar ettim ya.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
La öldüğüm
Stanley
zaman
decided
en
to
başa
go to
mı
the meeting
geliyorum?
room. Perhaps he had simply
Ama
missed a memo.
ben alt tarafı sadece bakmak istedim, intihar etmedim ki.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bu kapı bile açmıyor. Vay anasını, ofisten otele geldik.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Extra secret ne bileyim benim umurumdaymış.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Kod var. 2845. 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
2 saat araştırmak zorunda kalacaktım. Bir yer açıldı. Oraya gidelim. Bura ne lan? Oğlum bu ışıkları görünce her yerde görüyorum be bu ışıkları. Şu inşaat ışığı var ya. Her yerde buluyoruz bunu ya.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was
Wow.
a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Çok da umurumdaydı.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape yazıyor.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Bana ne?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Arkadaşlar gördüğünüz her butona basmayın.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Wow.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oğlum ben sandım güzel bir şey yaşanacak ya. Bu ne?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each
Geri
bore
kapat.
the number of an
Bu ne?
employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
Oha.
individuals reduced to images on a
Yok
screen.
daha
And
neler?
Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Koldu. Aa. Erkeğe 56.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire
bileyim ben,
life
bu işe yeni
utterly
katıldım.
blind to the world?
Abi
But here
çok
was the
konuştun
proof,
be.
the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with
Bu ne, bas, her
emotions.
şeye bas.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Abi. Konsol kapalı. Game. Ne yapacağım ben? Bence Escape'den gitseydim şu anda bitmişti bile. Hayır, bu kapı da kilitli. Aa! Ben nereden geldim? Abi,
And when at last he found the source of the room's power.
artık
Oh, Stanley, you
kol
didn't just
titriyor.
activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved
Ben
all these
inanmıyorum.
years, you go and you
Elektrikleri
try to take
atmadığımı
control of
yemin
the machine for
edebilirim.
yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators
Ya
are
daha
set to
demin
explode,
elektrikle
eliminating
uğraşıyorduk.
the
Şimdi de
entire complex.
fizikle
Until
uğraşıyoruz be.
detonation then, let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you,
Bomba mı?
about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested
Ya
away from
abi
you.
ne
It's
konuşuyorsun?
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it.
La
I'm going to
patlayacağız.
put some extra
Konuşma
time on the
konuş.
clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look
Bir
at
dersen ne
you,
oluyor?
running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to
Ne
your death.
yapacağım?
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Sağ sol ne bileyim bir şey.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
Hiçbir şey olmayacaksa diye koşturuyorum ben. Aşağıda iniliyor. Ama onun için zamanım yok. Gidiyor. Deprem oluyor.
joke.
Aa,
And believe
deprem
me, I
oluyor.
won't be laughing at every second of it from the moment we fade
Çalıştır.
in until the
Düğme
moment I
çalış.
say,
Aa, patlayacak.